Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Massachusetts just voted to eliminate coverage for GLP-1 medications for weight loss. That means drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound will no longer be covered for obesity under the state's public employee insurance plan. This impacts more than 460,000 state employees, retirees, and their families, and about 22,000 people that are currently taking these medications for weight loss. But here's the important nuance. GLP-1s will still be covered for type 2 diabetes. So what happened? Why did this pass? And what does this mean for the future of GLP-1 coverage nationwide? Let's break it down. On February 26, the Massachusetts Group Insurance Commission, or GIC as it's known, voted 10-7 to eliminate coverage for GLP-1 medications prescribed specifically for obesity. Key numbers on this? Well, 22,000 members currently use GLP-1s for weight loss. Annual cost is $46 million. The GIC covers over 460,000 public workers and retirees. The commission says this is about budget sustainability. They're trying to slow premium increases and stabilize the insurance plan during what they called a very challenging budget year. One official said this could reduce premium growth to about 7.5%, the smallest increase in years. So from their perspective, this is a cost control move, but that's only part of the story. This passed 10-7, which tells you something. Even commissioners who voted in favor described doing so with a heavy heart. Several board members voted against eliminating coverage, warning that it could worsen health disparities, it may increase long-term health costs, and it disproportionately impacts lower income members. One commissioner said this would be the first time the commission eliminated a proven evidence-based offering that's making a difference. Another warned that once a benefit is eliminated, it's almost impossible to get it back. And then there are the patients. One state employee shared that after losing over 100 pounds on a GLP-1 medication, the state now plans to take away what he called a lifetime drug, saying it's worse than never having had access at all. That emotional reality matters. The GIC needs to find roughly $120 million in savings. GLP-1 weight loss coverage accounts for $46 million of that. Some commissioners argued that dropping coverage could pressure manufacturers to lower their prices, especially if other state programs like Medicaid also reduce coverage. And we are seeing this trend nationally. As of early 2026, California ended Medi-Cal coverage for weight loss GLP-1s for adults. New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina restricted or ended Medicaid coverage. Michigan now limits coverage to the most severe obesity cases. And North Carolina briefly dropped coverage, then they partially reinstated it. Notice the pattern here? Coverage for obesity gets cut. Coverage for type 2 diabetes remains. So what happens to current patients? And this is the hardest part. About 22,000 Massachusetts members currently use GLP-1s for weight loss. The GIC said it may offer an off-ramp program, meaning patients could be transitioned to less expensive and likely less effective treatments. Some patients with multiple conditions like diabetes, cardiac disease, or sleep apnea may still qualify under other diagnoses, but for many, this will mean stopping treatment. And we know from data that discontinuation often leads to weight regain. That's not fear-mongering. That's what the evidence shows. This isn't just about Massachusetts. This is about how we define obesity in healthcare. Is it a chronic disease deserving long-term pharmacologic treatment, or a lifestyle issue that gets deprioritized when budgets tighten? Because right now, obesity coverage is being treated differently than diabetes coverage, even though both are chronic metabolic conditions. The uncomfortable truth: GLP-1 medications are clinically effective. They're also expensive, and state budgets are limited. So this becomes a values question as much as a financial one. Massachusetts isn't alone. Public employee plans and Medicaid programs across the country are reevaluating GLP-1 coverage due to cost. If drug prices remain high, we may see more states restrict obesity-only coverage, tighter eligibility requirements, step therapy mandates, BMI thresholds, or mandatory lifestyle programs before approval. But we could also see negotiated pricing, value-based contracts, federal policy changes, or expanded recognition of obesity as a chronic disease. This story is still unfolding. If you are on a GLP-1 for weight loss, this kind of news can feel scary. If you're a taxpayer or a policy-minded person, you may understand the budget argument. Both realities can exist at the same time. This vote highlights a tension that we're going to keep seeing. Clinical innovation is moving faster than our payment systems can handle, and the people caught in the middle are the patients. I will continue tracking coverage changes state by state and breaking down what they mean practically, not politically. If you are affected by this decision, I would love to hear your perspective in the comments. And if you want more updates on GLP-1 policy, research, and real-world implications, make sure you're subscribed because this conversation is just getting started. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.